Hi, this is Whole Health with Truly Writer. Again, Truly Jacoba Writer is my pen writing and media name only, so you probably won't see my face. But the real me, my real name, I went to Knoll Seventh-day Adventist Church today on Saturday, March 16, 2024. So their main sermon, someone gives a sermon. Sometimes it's the pastor, sometimes it's an elder in the church. Who knows? Sometimes it's a guest speaker, but they have their main sermon at 11 o'clock. So if any of you out there are looking for a church in the Rochester, New York State area, feel free to stop in, or you're visiting in the area, feel free to stop in. But the main service is at 11 a.m. I chose to go to Sabbath School. So they have a bunch of different classes for different ages. So there's Adult 1, Adult 2, Adult 3. So there's different adult classes. So the elders Howard Krug and Mick Orsburn do Adult 1. Elder Bob, I can't pronounce the last name, does 1. And then Elder George Silver does the third one. And then they have, age range 0 to 7. And right now they don't have anyone doing age range 8 to 12 years. I don't know why. Feel free to contact them and ask them that question. Maybe they need someone to do that. So if you are a Seventh-day Adventist and you're looking to get, you feel called by God to do a junior class age range for Sabbath School, feel free to switch over to the Knoll Seventh-day Adventist Church if you're in the Rochester area, because they need someone to do Sabbath School for ages 8 to 12 years. And then they have youth and young adult. So that and Sabbath School starts at 10 o'clock. So I arrived a little late, but was there for that. I chose to go to Elder Bob's Sabbath School class in the friendship room. Also, in the sanctuary, they have Sabbath School online, so you can find Knoll Seventh-day Adventist Church on Facebook, on YouTube, and I don't know what the house one means. And that is their information if you need to get a hold of the church or anything like that. So feel free to do that. So Sabbath School is what they call what you study the Bible from, and they have a theme. So for January, February, March of 2024, the Sabbath School lesson goes over Psalms. In the past, people have called it the quarterly because you're doing it in quarters, right? So this is the winter quarter. So lesson 11, unfortunately, there's so much information in here that I do not have the ability to have the study stamina to do this diligently, study it all week long, to be able to come and put my 2 cents in for it. So my objective is, if I join, it's if they read a Bible verse and something comes to mind to share, then I'll share it. So, but that's what Sabbath School is about, is to read some verses of the Bible and then create a group discussion. So that's why I'm only chose to go to Sabbath School, because it's more interactive. And I skipped the church service, but they do have a church service too. So you can come to Sabbath School, stay for the church service. Sometimes there's potluck if you want. It's up to you what you want to do. But this week's lesson was Longing for God in Zion, and it was more going over different aspects of Zion. And then the stuff that I wrote down, those are the verses we went over. And it created a discussion. So at one point, we were talking about different ways of how to connect with God, and someone brought up going out in nature. And then someone was like singing psalms or hymns. I think they really meant hymns or songs. And it created a discussion about like hymns and like the hymns. If you sing all 4 stanzas or verses of the hymn, it tells a story. And sometimes, like, if you do all 4 of the verses versus just like one or something, like, you're gonna get a more in-depth like meaning out of the Psalms. And we were discussing how no one knows every single hymn in the Seventh-day Adventist hymnal, because a lot of us are music illiterate. So that was part of the discussion, and other things too. So that like that was brief, but it's just like, if different ideas come into your head, because we read a Bible verse, it's like okay to discuss that and talk about it. So I'm gonna just focus on Psalm 122 today, and I'm gonna compare 2 different versions of the Bible. So the first version of the Bible is the New King James Version, the Holy Bible, and the Seventh-day Adventist Andrews, I think, University and created a study Bible. So this is their Bible, and they got copyrights from the New King James Version publishers to be able to put this all together. So proper copyrights to the publishers, I'll put that in the description. So Psalm 122. I was glad when they said to me, "Let us go into the house of the Lord. Our feet have been standing within your gates, O Jerusalem." Jerusalem is built as a city that is compact together, where the tribes go up, the tribes of the Lord, to the testimony of Israel, to give thanks to the name of the Lord. For the thrones are set there for judgment, the thrones of the house of David. So someone heard the word judgment, and they were referring it to like the judgment more, like, I guess, God judging us in the time at the end, the second coming of Christ, when we'll all be judged. And then, like, as someone continued reading, pray for the peace of Jerusalem. May they prosper who love you. Peace be within your walls, prosperity within your palaces. For the sake of my brother and companions, I will now say, peace be within you. Because of the house of the Lord our God, I will seek your good. So here it's like, what I was getting out of it, and what I shared in the class is it seemed more like they were praying blessings over the people that came to the tabernacle, because because it was like they were, what am I trying to say? Like, recently I went to a Jewish temple, and a lot of what they do in their service is they speak blessings over the congregation. They speak blessing after blessing, and they say it in Hebrew, and they say some of them in English. And it was very hard for me to follow that service because it was in Hebrew, and I don't understand Hebrew at all. But I did my best. It was very interesting. But like, that's what came to mind when like they were doing this, was like, this is the Hebrew tradition. You come to the synagogue or the tabernacle or the temple, and you all say these chants and speak blessings over anyone who has come. So I was just bringing that up. So yeah. And then for the thrones that are set there in the judgment, the thrones of the house of David, if you have ever read the whole Bible, if you study Exodus, Numbers, Leviticus, Deuteronomy, it goes over how Moses too had to set up leaders to be in charge of each tribe of the 12 tribes of Israel. They were at the top, and then some people were in charge of thousands, some people were in charge of hundreds, and some people were in charge of 50s, and some people were in charge of 10s. So if what's it called, if someone that was in charge of 10s couldn't help resolve the issues in their clan or tribe, then it would probably go up to the one that was in charge of like 50s, and then if they couldn't resolve it, then it goes up to the one in charge of hundreds. If they can't resolve it, then it goes to the one that's in charge of thousands. And then if the and then probably if like the one in charge of thousands can't resolve it, then it goes to the top, the ones in charge of all the tribes. And then also, like, part of the whole system was going to the priest to get counsel and help resolve issues too. So you could always go to the Levite priests and stuff like that. So there was like that whole system of like seeking counsel. Because in another Psalms it says something to the effect like in a multitude of counselors there is safety. I don't know where that verse is right now, but so that was like the judgment system. Like judgment was more of a phrase like translated to English to get counsel to resolve issues that were going on in the Israel nation. Okay, let's do now the Amplified Holy Bible. It captures the full meaning behind the original Greek and Hebrew. Let's see if we get anything else out of this scripture. I was glad when they said to me, "Let us go to the house of the Lord. Our feet are standing within your gates, O Jerusalem. Jerusalem that is built as a city that is firmly joined together, to which the 12 tribes go up, even the tribes of the Lord, as was decreed as the ordinance for Israel." So this is the decree that they're supposed to go up to Jerusalem, because that's where the traveling tabernacle was there at the time. Like this is where King David wanted the tabernacle. Like, I want God to dwell in Jerusalem. But it's the command that all the different tribes come to the tabernacle. You don't necessarily have to go all the time, but it is a command. And certain feasts, it's like, please come to these feasts and let's all congregate together in this one location. To give thanks to the name of the Lord. So, like, it's a command, it's decreed, like, you need to give thanks to the Lord for what God has done in your life, or what God will do in your life. So it's like, again, goes to the context of speaking blessings over you. Bless God for what he has done. Thank him. For there the thrones of judgment were set, and the thrones of the house of David. So again, reference to David being king at this time. Pray for the peace of Jerusalem. May they prosper who love you, holy city. May peace be within your walls and prosperity within your palaces. For the sake of my brothers and my friends, I will now say, my peace be within you. For the sake of the house of the Lord our God, which is in Jerusalem, I will seek the city's good. So here, like, they're saying they looked up the Hebrew root words, and it's referring to the city's good, not just the people. But when I read from the New King James Version, to me, it was like the context I got is more, it's the nation's good. They're not just praying for Jerusalem, but the nation of Israel, that it can be good, and all those things fall blessings on the whole nation, not just Jerusalem. But maybe like they're just focused on Jerusalem at this time, blessing Jerusalem. But why wouldn't you want blessings for the whole nation of Israel as a whole? Were they too narrow-minded and being like, oh, let's just pray for the blessings on Jerusalem? Or was this just a specific prayer and blessing for that time, where it's like, wherever you are, this is what you're supposed to do today? And you say, I don't know, like, I guess I need to look at a map now. Is there a map in here? I don't think there's a map in this Bible. Oops. Yeah, no map. Oh well. Anyways. Yeah, so Kadesh was part of the land. And like maybe for this time, they're like, if you were in the area of Kadesh, you'd be like, pray for the peace of Kadesh, Barnea, or whatever, you know? So maybe, because maybe this was more a synagogue thing, I don't know. Or, I don't know, who knows? But that's what I learned when I visited like a temple, is that they proclaim certain blessings on anyone who comes to the temple. And and it was a Jewish temple, so it was very interesting. So like that's what came to mind, is they're speaking blessings, because you can curse people with your words, or you can bless people with your words. So they're trying to encourage people also during the week, speak blessings over where you dwell, over your nation, because maybe even David made Jerusalem the capital of the whole Hebrew land. And so they're like, you need to speak blessings over Jerusalem because it's the capital, it's where your king dwells. So maybe that's also why they were doing that. So if you have any thoughts or ideas of like, if you took the time on your own to pause this video and study Psalms 122 for yourself, did you get anything else out of Psalms 122 verses 1 through 4? Feel free to put that in the comment section. I will even try to find Knoll's address and put that in the description if you're in the Rochester, New York state area around Decoit and you would like to go to that church. Feel free to try to find them on YouTube, Facebook, social media. If you need if you for some reason you can't get out of your house, so hope you enjoyed this video and the discussion, and feel free to like and subscribe to this channel if you want. Until next time.